talking fishing. Going to be here until 8 o'clock.
Unfortunately, only till 8 o'clock.
That is true. That is true.
Unfortunately.
How are you, big fella? Looks like we might get a little bit of a break in the weather moving forward, I hope. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed.
Amen to that. It definitely has been a little bit of a run here. We had that big push of rainy conditions, and then we had a big push of high east winds and high pressure. But now, looks like it's scary to even talk about.
It is,
because a lot of times what happens to me on weekends is like Saturday we'll talk about something, and then by Sunday night during the show things have really changed for the negative.
Right.
So I'm scared to talk about it, but it does look beautiful this weekend and all the way through this coming work week, and even through really most of next weekend. So hopefully that holds true, and hopefully that weather continues to forecast nicely, because we could use it.
Yeah, maybe that's the way it'll work. We had a week, like you said, a week of rainy conditions. We get a week of wind, and then a week of really nice.
Yeah, we need a little bit more than a week of really nice.
I agree. I agree.
It is nice to have the official summertime conditions settling in, though. There was a few days there where you got the afternoon thunderstorms kind of rolling through, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we need it.
What's that?
Yeah, we need it. Actually, water temps yesterday were,
pretty moderate still, right?
85, which is maybe, I think,
That's
still
June.
a little bit high, but late June, pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I think that probably has something to do with the afternoon showers and the east wind too. But
yeah,
there's some afternoon showers in there too. So, I just get to a normal summer pattern and stop beating us up.
Yeah, for sure.
I was not happy with the weatherman yesterday because I kept seeing, it was pushing me off the water all week. Customers just didn't want to go fight that 20, 30 mile an hour wind, which
understandable.
100%. And then Friday looked like, by 8 in the morning it was going to lay out.
Nice.
So I made the, courageous idea that I was going to run across the bay, and got about halfway across going, how could you be this far off?
That didn't work, did it?
No, not really. The
wind was going to lay down, but the seas take a while to calm down. We unfortunately canceled our 12-hour extreme trip yesterday for that same reason. I mean, the wind was calming down nicely. By everything you looked at, it looked like a beautiful day Friday. But those seas were going to take a little while.
Yeah, but in the bay, it doesn't work like that. I mean, once it lays out, the offshore scene, it does. Yeah. But in the bay, we still had quite a bit of wind yesterday morning. That was wind. Whitecaps is wind.
Yeah.
It's not roly-poly because we have no wind. It was It was windy yesterday morning. And we got through it all right. We caught a few fish. It wasn't a great bite. Full moon, but I did get good reports last night on the tarpon bite. That it finally went off.
I heard the June full moon is like where it's at tarpon wise, huh?
I think the bite's been better earlier.
Really?
I really do. I think the bite's been better in, late April, May. Once it gets into June, it gets a little tough. The sharks are really, really bad still. I don't know what the plan is there I don't know if there's a remedy. What we can do besides start shooting them in the head that'd really calm that thing down.
What's crazy to me, what's comical to me on this whole shark thing is last week's show got very shark heavy, and the discussion was the shark problem throughout. That was the theme of last week's show for sure. And I'm sure it will be this week, and I'm sure it will continue to be a trend. But what's interesting to me is being involved in federal fisheries management and going all over the Gulf, and even talking to a lot of South Atlantic people, and now being involved in the Marine Recreational Education Program nationally. The conversation about sharks is nationwide and an issue nationwide. And in other areas, like, for example, if you go to try to fish Jupiter, the Keys, Venice, Louisiana, Pensacola, I mean, there's areas where you literally cannot fish,
right,
because of the sharks.
Right.
And like Tampa Bay, we feel it, but it's not like some of these other hotbed zones. And those poor people have been complaining and screaming, really, and really nothing's been done. It's very frustrating.
Nobody's talking about it.
I mean, in Jupiter, they still have shark feeding charters. Like, there's, like, shark diving trips where, like, people go out there and name the sharks, and they're like pets.
Really?
Yeah. It's really backwards, man.
Yeah.
In our state. And our state is looking the other way as this all happens. I mean, look at there was 2 shark attacks in Destin.
Those people should be eaten.
We talked we talked about it last week in the show. Like a big problem is the fact that we have such a large sentiment, a public sentiment
Shark
and
Week.
outcry, and we have a whole generation of these people that were raised on Shark Week propaganda that the oceans are overfished and there's no sharks left and we got to protect the apex predator. Well, those same people are the people that are now in power, right, making rules. And we talked about how even with shark attacks, people are like, oh, protect the sharks. We saw that this past week, Fort Walton County or whatever that was. They had 2 shark attacks or 3 shark attacks in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And people went crazy in the Facebook comments. If you read any of the comments, like, oh, there's sharks in the water? No, duh. You're swimming in their territory. It's a matter of time before people get bit. I'm surprised people don't get bit more. We're in their home. And like the sentiment, even when a human gets attacked and potentially loses their life, people are still like, protect the sharks.
I wonder if they'd be.
Like
I wonder if they'd be so on the shark side if that was their kid.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I mean, unfortunately, that's what you need to have happen. Is you need to have somebody really important way up the ladder that something bad happens to them, because it's a problem. The sharks are a problem. We got a lot. Listen. It was funny, too, because yesterday I was talking to Trey Rodriguez, and out at Egmont, you'll see people swimming, off the edge there.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, as we're tarpon fishing, I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, I don't know that that's a good idea, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like, even off Fort DeSoto, you see people way out there swimming around. I've been on a tarpon trip before and pulled up there kind of close going, hey, I don't know where you guys are from, but this is not a good idea.
At Egmont, so our 2 captains that run out to Egmont every day, they've both been with us a long time, one more than 15 years. And between the 2 of them, they have like 20 plus years experience. And they both said in the last 4 or 5 months, they've seen more sharks in the last 4 or 5 months than their entire career. And at Egmont, in those snorkeling areas, we have a lot of, we've discussed stopping snorkeling as a company.
Dude.
And snorkeling is a huge draw for us. People
Sure.
call out snorkeling all the time, but we've discussed stopping snorkeling because of the shark issue.
Trey Rodriguez, some of these guys who are everyday tarpon guys here on Tampa Bay. Trey told me that the sharks were so bad Thursday night that he didn't even fish it. He goes, I was looking at my side imaging, and I was marking more sharks than I was tarpon.
Wow.
He said there was enough tarpon there that we could probably get bit, but I know that I'm killing the tarpon. It's over. As soon as you hook that fish, it's going to get eaten and he's going to be dead.
That's
I know
crazy.
for sure that at least a couple, Captain Jamie Goodwin had a big trip yesterday afternoon, a big tarpon trip.
Mm-hmm.
Hats off to Captain Josh Johnson, my mate the last couple of years. It's now a new captain, got his first tarpon yesterday on a charter.
Nice.
Super excited for him. I'm sure he's stoked out of his mind this morning. But I know in talking with Captain Todd Redmond late last night that several guys that caught fish out there, their fish got sharked.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, to me, that's a frustrating situation. I don't even want to fish it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feed those tarpon to the sharks. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah.
It's just, it's out of control, and I'm not sure what the remedy is.
We're catching sharks on jigs offshore.
Oh, wow.
A lot. Like often. Those slow pitch jigs, sharks love them, especially silkies and
You're
duskies.
snagging them?
No, right in the corner of the mouth, baby.
Just like a tarpon?
Yeah.
Just like a tarpon snag?
I see what you
where
did
I was
there.
going. Yeah.
We're going to leave that one alone.
No, we won't. We're going to bring it up. We're going to stir that pot today.
Okay.
Scott Moore, it's Captain Scott Moore's fault. He sent me the text this morning with the snagging article from the loser.
I'm an
bag
offshore
down
fisherman in this
Boca Grande.
conversation, so I'm going to just sit over here on my side.
I love it because they're gutless because they don't want to talk to anybody that's fished that pass as long as I have. Come on. You just won't do it, huh?
No, I mean, to me, tarpon is one of those things. You have to decide where you fall on the whole grand scheme of things, right? Tarpon is an interesting fish. It's something that's not harvestable, right?
Right.
And it's a dangerous game that we play. Is if you make a fishery, a lot of people scream and yell, oh, it should be catch and release only on snook, redfish, trout, and all these other species. Well, once it's catch and release only, now there's no harvest. So why are you fishing for them? That it becomes really easy for the anti-fishing
But why?
organization.
Why?
Well, let me finish, though. It becomes really easy for someone to make the argument that you shouldn't be allowed to fish for them at all. If you're not harvesting them for protein, then why are you fishing for them? It's just mean. It's cruelty.
Okay, well, here's my question. Then why do we level?
I'm not.
No. I'm just saying.
Being devil's advocate for everybody's listening.
Here's how I play that idiot face to face.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that douchebag plays golf.
Oh, sure.
Why did you level all that beautiful woods for a golf course? At the end of it, you didn't get any protein. You didn't eat the ball, jackwagon, did you? I mean, I love it.
No, you're right. I mean
that's my whole thing. Why do you get to play golf, bro?
But it comes back to the shark argument, right? Is the people making rules are looking to the majority of individuals, and that sweet old lady in Tampa or the person in Idaho,
Indiana,
that are removed from the fishery,
right?
They're really easily swayed. All right, if you're down there in Boca Grande jigging for these tarpon and you're not even going to kill that fish, all you're going to do is wrestle it, tire it out, and potentially feed it to a shark. Stop fishing for it. That's my concern.
For the sharks?
I agree.
We can make shark steaks popular.
Advocate.
I know, and I'm just saying, I can fix that. We'll just fish for the sharks. We'll fish for them with 12 gauges. We'll get them up close to the boat, shoot them in the head. How about that?
Charismatic megafauna is a big problem. Sharks, dolphins,
manatees.
Black bears, manatees, pelicans. We could go all day on this.
Stirring the pot.
Yeah. It's not even our first break.
I know, I love
Talked about killing manatees and dolphins.
Yeah, baby. Let's get this party started this morning.
You know how much money we spend feeding manatees every year?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, almost $30 million.
Why not?
We spend on food for manatees.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got homeless people everywhere that are hungry, but let's just feed the manatees.
Let's take care of the veterans.
No.
We're going to spend $30 million on some cuddly manatees that are overpopulated.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
There's music. First break of the morning.
Thank God. We've got Donald and Lutz up on the other side.
Someone knocking on the door? Is FWC here?
Should be an interesting morning. It's probably John Momola like, hey, morons, cut it out. I can feel him in there going,
someone's going to be waiting at our truck when the show's over.
Stirring the pot awfully early this morning. So, the great John Momola on the other side here. His will be the first voice you hear. Your questions, comments, fishing reports. Bring them right here, 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back. That'll get them going on the live feed, I'll bet.
Oh, man.
What?
It's a great start to the show there, bud.
Love it. Love it. Charismatic megafauna.
Tarpon's going to become one, too.
Oh, there's no doubt.
If it hasn't already
Sorry,
become
I was
one.
going to say it's kind of already there. Total douchebagism. Well, it's pretty much for the most part, it's a lawless environment to boot.
Mm-hmm.
They'll spend $30 million feeding the manatees, but we don't have anybody protecting the waterways with the rules you do have in place.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make
when's the last time you saw a law enforcement floating in Boca Grande?
Right.
That's
that I don't know. I haven't been down there in a while, but initially when it first became an issue, we used to see them every day. They used to really keep an eye on them. What?
Someone said it looks like the pen is going to come out today.
The pen?
Because that one episode you said you're going to stab someone in the neck with a pen.
It could happen. It could happen. Start with our good friends down in Boca Grande, the live baiters. Now they're all, I don't know why they're not all about save the crab now. Now all the guys that were jig fishing, 90% of them are just throwing crabs. Mm-hmm. So we're just killing crabs, for God's sakes. What did a crab ever do to anybody? Save the tarpon, save the crab, save the squirrelfish. Poor squirrelfish didn't do anything to anyone. You're feeding them things to the tarpon. You losers. It's one of the most gutless groups on the planet ever. Ever. The live baiters down there are gutless. Because they're lying. They're a bunch of liars. Just man up. Just stick your chest out.
Is it live baiters versus jig fishermen, or is it people that are concerned about the fish?
No, it's live baiters.
No,
it's live baiters. You don't hear anything about it except for them live bait losers. And again, let's talk about this. What's the greatest thing about fighting a tarpon?
Getting them. I mean, to me, fishing, a big point of fishing, like a big section of fishing, is tricking that fish into biting.
But
if you're not getting the fish to
you've
bite,
already got him bit. You're already fighting him. What's the best part?
Is that fishing?
You're not snagging them. That's the other thing. And that's the problem, is those guys are telling you people that who've never done it.
I gotcha.
You've never done it. You don't know anything about that fish.
I agree.
Right. So, and I will tell you this. I have snagged a tarpon.
Mm-hmm.
I've snagged a fucking mullet, too. Fishing for redfish in a mullet school.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, give me a fucking break. But I've slow drifted through a 30-foot stack for 6 fucking minutes with 10 other boats with jigs. Everybody had 3 people with jigs on it, and you can't snag one. It's not a fucking. You don't just snag them. It doesn't happen. It's a turf war. Just call it what it is.
Turf war.
They don't want you there. They want that whole little ditch for themselves. The minute all us assholes showed up from Tampa and took all their business because we were doing it in the daylight, they got pissy. And one of them just stood on the beach and said, "We don't want you here." I went, "I get it. Oh, okay. Well, now I know why your undies are in a bundle. Sure, no problem. I get it. Don't lie. Don't make shit up." That's the part that I struggle with. You know, be a man. Call it what it is. It's a turf war.
Yeah, I got you.
I guarantee you at some point, I've said this a million times, I guarantee you at some point, a jig fisherman down there 2 months out of the year ended up hooking up with a live baiter's wife at Miller's at a party, and that started this whole pissing match. And it was probably Marquette. Welcome back. I want to put a shout out to our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Shingle, metal, tile, flat roof, it doesn't matter. Repair, replacement, it doesn't matter. Nobody does it better than our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Over 3 decades of experience. They're absolutely phenomenal. Give them a call today, 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at AffordableRoofingFlorida.com. This is not the time of the year to have issues with your roof, so get somebody in there that you can trust. Call our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. You know what's funny is that we almost made it all the way through tarpon season without this becoming a conversation.
No, I think I think we talked about this already before tarpon
Did we?
season. Yeah.
Oh, well, good.
I remember this.
I'm glad it's back on the table. Let's go to the...
Thanks, Scott Moore. Appreciate you, bud.
Scotty got me all fired up this morning. I was going to...
Before the show even started.
Yeah. If he would wait until, like...
You know, there's a golf council meeting next week.
Is there?
Talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's get it all.
Flying to Houston.
Let's get it all.
Be fun.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and then ICAST the following? No, 4th of July then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Your dates are messed up in your head.
It's because I'm thinking about my beach vacation. That's why. Let's go to the phones here. Check in with our good friend Donald in Lutz. Donald, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, what about the open season on cormorants?
Oh,
you can't forget those suckers.
There it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, I'm in the kayak. I'm ready to shoot one. I've jammed my paddle at them.
You know, I recommend everybody who inshore fishes Tampa Bay flies up to Tennessee or drives up to Tennessee. I think it's Tennessee. I want to say it's Tennessee. There is a open season on cormorants.
Wisconsin, too. Wisconsin's got one. Oh, yeah.
There's hunting seasons in some of our northern states. So
there should be.
If you're angry, you should fly up
I wonder
there
how
and
they
take part.
eat. Do they eat well? Has anybody ever eaten one?
I feel like it's a nussance hunt, so I don't know.
No, I'm okay with just killing them because they're a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I mean, it's like our right to hunt and fish amendment 2 coming up on the ballot. If the whole driving force behind that is looking to hunting and fishing as your first tool towards management, right? And so if there's a problem in some of these northern states with too many cormorants, they look to hunting as their first tool for management.
I love it.
So let's go out there and kill them.
Thin the herd.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Pretty
it.
awesome.
There you go.
We should do that with. I just can't. It's too early. It's too early. It's too early for that. Too early for that. Now, listen. We need to check with John Momola. Can you use the S word?
I don't know.
Because I think Donald said sucker.
Yeah,
I think
sucks.
No.
I know what he
Sucker,
said.
yeah.
I know what you said, and you said the S word. Like
Yeah.
the S is in Sam. I get it, but I was like, I don't know if you can say sucker. I liked it.
I was hoping for a bleep this early in the show. That would have been awesome.
I think John Momola was like, had his hand up on the dumb button, but no, it was saved.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, I know what you mean, buddies. But on a lighter note, or any note, heading up to Arapika, you talk about manatees. Last time I was up there, I had a baby manatee literally put its snout right on the side of my gunnel on my kayak. It's like, dude, get off of me. You want to push him off. You can't touch him. Want to whack him, get out of here.
Whack him.
Whack-a-mole.
Nice. That'll get
For
us some phone
entertainment
calls.
purposes only.
Exactly.
The one good thing I've learned from Mike Mahoney.
Yes. Definitely entertainment purposes only. All right, Donald, we got to go.
Exactly.
You're going to
All
get us in trouble.
You guys take care. Stay in tight lines, and maybe we'll go run into a tag red. You never know.
You never know. Good luck.
Or a
buddy.
manatee.
We are in the CCA Florida Star Tournament. We got Captain Mike down in Big Pine Key. He's going to be up on the other side. Hopefully, we'll hear from you as well. Sometimes it's really good when we get a lot of callers because it steers the show sometimes in a safe direction. Sometimes it's,
I don't know. Some of our callers, they steer it right back to where we were. I count on you, Mike.
we have good friends.
Come on, Capt.
We have good friends. It's all good. 1-800-969-9352. Right to these phone lines. Let's talk fishing.
So, Captain Travis Thompson said he's hunted
Cormorante?
cormorants legally in other states, and he said, I would never eat one. They smell like a full bait bucket left out in the sun for 3 weeks.
I believe that's all they eat, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
Old Travis.
A Tampa police officer is on leave after a man gets tased and then run over and killed by a hit-and-run driver. Bro, stop! Body cam video from Officer Luis Garcia shows the suspect getting tased, running into the street, and falling just before being struck by a car. That car did not stop, and police are now searching for the driver. FDLE is assisting the investigation.
Dang.
The Florida Panthers failed
You got tased right before you got hit by a car. You are having a horrible day.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Not good.
No,
Do you see that one guy that worked for the state? I forget what state it was, but he was a state employee, and the ATF raided his home on suspicion that he didn't have proper paperwork for some firearms. So they raided his home pre-dawn, like 3:30. Dude, like any red-blooded American, grabbed a gun, and the ATF shot and killed him in his home with his family there. And the ATF ruled it as a good shooting. Like, it was warranted because the guy reached for a gun in his own home, pre-dawn, on suspicion of not proper paperwork.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, don't come to my house.
it's crazy.
The same thing's going to go down.
Nuts, man.
Yeah. Don't come to my house.
Dan the Fishman said, I got tarpon fever. I got my first tarpon boat side on Monday, and I'm going to
Nice.
try it again this week on the kayak.
Nice.
Uh-oh. Another one's been hooked.
Yep. I get it. I went down to Venice to gun shop down there and got my suppressor paperwork put in.
Yep. Now the ATF will have a map of your home.
That's fine. They didn't ask for a map
Yeah.
in the paperwork.
Really? I guess that's maybe the Form 4 stuff.
What's Form 4? For machine guns or something?
Automatic, yeah.
Maybe. What's his name? The guy that I did it with, one of the guys I did it with, Booker, he got his back already.
Wow.
In 3 days. So he's got like 50 suppressors.
Mm-hmm. So he's probably already been in the
That's
pipeline.
pretty quick, yeah. So hopefully it doesn't take too long because I wanted to have them for my deer rifles.
They used to take like 6 to 8 months, but I know recently it's been fast.
The guy said basically it could be back in a month, it could be back in 12 months. He said it just, if you fall into a black hole, it could take forever. If you luck out, maybe with concealed carry already, maybe it'll go faster. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Your captain's license too,
Oh,
because
yeah.
your biometrics are all on file.
Oh, okay.
You have a TWIC card.
Good point.
Yeah,
I
you
might
have to
know.
do all that stuff.
Yeah.
It expedites everything.
I got it renewed. I'm up for renewal next July. So
Yeah, the renewals don't help, but when you got your initial license, you had to go through all that. Like when I had to get my license, I had to go. I don't know if it was that way for you initially, but I had to go to the port and get my TWIC card, and they do the biometric scans, they do the fingerprinting, they do all that.
Yeah.
So your background checks go a lot
it
faster.
wasn't in the port though. I think it was. There was a place on Hillsborough. I think we had to go. We had to go and sit, and then to get the Twix card finalized. I think. I don't think I had to go all the way to the port. But I was already a captain when they started the Twix thing.
So they made you go get a TWIC card?
Yeah, I didn't get a Twix card, but I don't think I had to go to the port. I don't remember.
So when they came out with that regulation, they made existing captains go do it?
I had to get a Twix card.
Interesting.
But I just went to a place on Hillsborough and got there real early because they said if you get there early, it wasn't too bad. So I got there half hour before they opened or some shit. Just was like first or second in line.
I had to renew all our registrations and get all our new FWC state licenses. We had 13 registrations to do and 6 fishing licenses to do. So normally it takes a solid 4 to 6 hours at the DMV. Well, Pinellas County closed one of their locations because it's getting renovated. So there's only 2 locations really in the county. And so I show up. It's impossible to get an appointment. So I show up without an appointment, but I was like, I'm going to get there really early. 35 minutes before they open, I pull into the parking lot. The line is from the front door, down the whole front of the building, down the whole side of the building, and I'm in the line at the back corner of this building, 35 minutes before they open. By the time they opened, the line wrapped from the front door, down the front, down the side, and across the back of the building. It took me almost 45 minutes to get in the building. But then once I got in the building, there was no wait. And luckily, the very first person I sat down with was like, she'd been there for like 10 years. She knew everything. I was in and out of there in like 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, fastest ever.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So altogether, it was only like an hour and a half. So I got lucky.
Yeah, that is lucky. What, the comments?
No, Mahoney's awake.
Oh,
Said,
yes.
I love listening to Captain Kangaroo. I don't even know who that is. Is he referring to me or you? I don't know.
He doesn't know either.
Big O said he took his boys clay shooting last week. Loads of fun.
Yeah, I see that. That's good.
Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. 6:35 here at the iHeart Media Empire. Put a shout out to our good friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives. That's right, a knife, the world's first self-sharpening. Sharpens as it cuts. Absolutely unbelievable. Ultra hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, true grit glass reinforced ABS handle. They're perfectly balanced. 5 great models to choose from. Absolutely phenomenal. Go to relentlessknifesusa.com. These things make a great gift. If you fillet a pile of fish often, this is the knife for you. The guys at Hubbard's are using them. Everybody's using them. It's taken kind of the knife world by storm. It's going to be interesting. They're going to be at ICAST. I'm going to spend a little time in the booth, hopefully with the guy who actually designed it, which is George Lambert's dad. So it should be really interesting to pick his
That's
brain
awesome.
some. Yeah. So relentlessknivesusa.com. Check them out today. We've got phone lines that are open here, 1-800-969-9352. We've got the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation coming up late July 30th. It's a Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. The great Eric Bachnick from Miralure will be there. If you've never been to a true Miralure seminar where Eric gets in there and actually breaks down the baits, the eye placements on his hard baits to really understand how those baits are supposed to perform, what they're supposed to do. If you are diving into artificial fishing, this is one you don't want to miss. Eric's seminars are absolutely incredible. Silver Ring Cafe, our good friend Dana, going to be serving up the best Cubans on the planet, as always. Silver Ring Cafe there on 301 in Riverview. Bull Bay Rods, Ingle Coolers, Real Animal Swag. Make sure you come out Tuesday, July 30th. Join us for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. It will be a good one. Let's check in with our good friend down in the beautiful Florida Keys. Hopefully he's dried out a little bit. Capt. Mike Perry joins us now. Michael, how are you?
In case anybody's offended by what Michael Anderson's saying, you can reach out to John Butler.
That's right. That's right. Feel
Hey,
free.
You ain't I hope I can bring this back around for you, Dylan, but you aren't offending me on the shark issue. We have sharks.
Yeah.
I have people all the time, are we close to sharks? I say, reach down, cup a handful of water, put it in your mouth. They do it. I said, is it salty? They're like, yeah. I said, there's sharks in the water.
Right.
So
There's a lot of them down
one
there.
thing,
Yeah.
right. One thing real quick that it's just discussed amongst captains is there are fishermen across the world, fleets of fishermen who fish for sharks in their home waters, Japan, the Asian market, and
Well,
everything.
you just hit the nail on the head.
we-
That's the problem with a lot of our nation's management structures is we try to approach it like we're doing in other areas. That's we won't get into that, but we're trying to save the whole world's population. We can't save the world.
Right.
America is
No.
great, but we can't save the nation or the world's population of sharks by over-managing our terrestrial waters by saying, all right, we're going to try to repopulate the whole world's shark population. So let's not allow harvest and try to rebuild these populations that don't stay in U.S. territorial waters. They swim into the Caribbean. They swim into the Atlantic. They swim into the Pacific. These sharks get killed off our nation's waters, but inside our nation's water, we act like they're underpopulated. But in our territorial waters, they're overpopulated. But because the whole world's population is down because of what you're talking about, and they just literally sit off our territorial waters. If you go to South America, if you go into the Caribbean, those Taiwanese, Chinese, Japanese fleets are right there harvesting all these sharks.
Right.
The dumb Americans are over managing. All we're doing is helping other
I
countries.
had a partner years ago that was in the commercial fishing business, and I actually had lunch with them. They had long line boats, lots of them, and he looked me right in the eye and said, "Mike, I have circle hooks on my entire fleet is using them. Every bit of our long line is on circle hooks." He said, and that's all well and good. He said, but we're out there fishing with boats that aren't like that from other countries.
Oh yeah,
where they're taking everything.
Yeah.
So we can do what we want. You know, we can follow the rules. We can play the game. And he's like, I'm about this. I'm about trying to keep this sustainable fishery for everyone.
Look what happened in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Look what happened in Costa Rica. That fishery downturned because they allowed the Taiwanese and Japanese fleets in there because they built them a soccer stadium. Yeah. So the Costa Rican government opened their territorial waters to other nations' fishing fleets and decimated it with long lines.
Something's definitely got to be done, but because there is no doubt there's a shark problem in the state of Florida. Just come to the Keys and come to any marina at fish cleaning time. Bull sharks, lemon sharks.
Go to SeaWorld. Go to SeaWorld or Busch Gardens or anywhere that there's a shark exhibit, and you can watch on the walls, Guy Harvey, save the sharks. There's not enough sharks in the world. Oh, it's propaganda across the walls. Watch Shark Week.
Yeah.
I mean, every episode ends with fishermen are evil and they're killing all our sharks.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
We
Real
got to
quick
change
on
the culture
on
of population.
the fishing side, guys, the fishing has been good when we can get out. That east wind was just honking down here, just like it was for you guys, and we aren't as protected. I did get out in the Gulf side a little bit, yellowtail snapper and stuff. There are some mahi in the Gulf side, but the Atlantic side is where you want to be for the mahi run, and just a lot of other heads and tails. It's just been good fishing when you can get out, but that wind, we're going today. It is finally flat calm for me. If it's 2 foot or less, that's flat calm, so
Right.
I can get out. So you guys have a great day, and hey, Dylan, look at it this way. It's not like that one conversation we had about a few weeks ago about a Florida panther coming and sitting next to you, and I gave you my answer of what would have happened had I been on that turkey hunt.
Shoot it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Have a good day, guys. Tight lines, and God bless from the Florida Keys.
Thanks,
See you
Michael.
later.
Good job, buddy.
Another charismatic megafauna.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go down to Charlotte Harbor. Check in with the great, the legendary Van Hubbard. Van Hubbard, how are you, my friend? What's up, Cap?
I'm just wonderful, buddy. I am wonderful. Like Mike said, the wind is down. I'm
Finally.
liking it.
Yeah, finally down. Thank you, Jesus.
Did you get a tarpon yesterday?
We didn't see any fish yesterday, Eden. We rode down the pass. Everything looked pretty. It's a very demanding client I have, you know. But we had a wonderful boat ride. We dipped up some crabs. The sharks have been a real problem around the pass itself.
Yeah.
There's been some problems offshore with them and stuff, but especially around the pass right now. So I know sharks is a thing, and sharks is a problem. And otherwise, everything's looking real nice, real good. Still some bait around, a lot of fry bait around. We're going to look and see if we can find that demanding guy a couple of little snook or something this morning, maybe even try to catch a pumpy-no just to see if we can get something to eat.
Let's see if he's still got it.
I'm sure he does. I know he can bottom fish.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about beach fishing. It's been a little bit, so that's cool that you guys are getting out there and doing it.
Well, we're looking around and doing something different, you know, and that's what it's all about, isn't it, guys?
Oh, yeah. Keep it fresh, baby.
Amen to that.
Freshen it up.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, it's good. I'm glad. So has the inshore bite been good down there? Has it been a good June?
It's just like everywhere else. When we've had weather, we've had some fishing. When we've had wind, and rain, it's been tough.
Yeah. That's pretty much spot on.
Has the water cleaned up on the beach down there with that east wind between the rain? Because it got murky for us, and it's starting to clean up, but it's been slow.
It's not going to be like it was before the wind and rain.
Yeah.
But it's actually better for fishing. It's a little sandy and not so crystal clear. The fish could see our leaders, our lines and leaders.
Right.
It was tough on the beach in that crystal clear water, but it's stirred up a little bit now. It's fine for fishing.
Good.
Got
Nice.
a greenish color to it again, and everything's looking right.
Good.
Ooh.
We'll catch
Good
them
time
up.
to get out there.
Yeah, catch them up, Van. Always good to hear your voice, brother.
Y'all take care, be safe, and have a little fun.
Have fun.
Go fishing.
You too, buddy. Good stuff right there. Legendary.
He's got my dad on the boat today.
I figured that's who that was. It's an all Hubbard tour, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were out cruising yesterday. I was like, are you guys going tarpon fishing? He was like, we're looking.
Nice.
Yeah, they were just cruising.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting too, and just from 24 years now, guiding here and starting my tarpon experience. Really, I didn't tarpon fish here first. I tarpon fished first in Boca Grande.
Mm-hmm.
Always, the sharks were always bad early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had a push. Like when the first big wave of fish came into Boca Grande, you had some sharks that followed them in. You'd have a week, maybe 5 days, where it was just pretty sharky. Like if you got the fish to the boat, got them released, and didn't see any shark thing, you were pretty happy. But there was a lot of them. But it seemed like once they filled up, then it would dissipate.
Yeah.
The rest of the season would be fairly clean. I mean, there's always a chance. You always had to be paying attention for them. But it's just weird that over that span of 20 years or so, it's gone from, a week.
There's just more of them. I mean, they're celebrating the fact that populations are rising,
Striving.
yeah, and they're flourishing, and a lot of these sharks are on rebuilding plans, and these rebuilding plans are astronomically long. Like, people complained about the whole red snapper situation. Red snapper is the greatest conservation success story in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, when back in the 1920s, they have scrolls from these big sailing vessels that went out there and just caught mountains of red snapper. And then it got to the point where we overfished them to the point where when I was coming up, I didn't know what a red snapper was till I was like 12, 14 years old, and I caught one. I was like, what's this? And I was like, that's a red snapper. And all of a sudden now we got to a point when I was 15 to 18 years old that red snapper are everywhere, but we can't catch them because the National Marine Fisheries has these crazy laws. Now we're to the point where red snapper are everywhere. We have longer and longer and longer seasons. And now we're starting to be at somewhat of a good place. I don't know, that's relative, but we're starting to be at a place where at least you can access that fish, right? Well, the red snapper rebuilding plan that everybody had so much heartache over, that we really struggled through, that was only like 15, 18 years, that rebuilding plan. These rebuilding plans for some of these shark species are measured with decades, like 100 years, 120 years. The ridgeback shark rebuilding plan is like 80 or 90 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, they are literally proposing astronomical.
Who makes that rule?
It's not NOAA Fisheries. So the Gulf Council is an advisory panel to NOAA Fisheries, National Marine Fisheries Southeast Regional Office, and they advise them on rulemaking. Sharks and highly migratory species is a whole different branch of NOAA. So it is totally siloed out here in left field. And it doesn't have, like, people complain about the Gulf Council and the process, but at least that is, you have the ability to go to a council meeting and talk to these people and have somewhat influence if you have the time and you put in the effort to do so. Whereas this shark thing over here in the side, I don't know who to call, how to call. I mean, it's done in some ivory tower behind closed doors. It is not transparent. It is not an open process.
See, that's got to be a problem.
And they come to a council meeting like the Gulf Council doesn't manage sharks. They don't have anything to do with sharks. They can't advise on sharks, as they're totally outside their purview.
So
people complain at the Gulf Council about sharks all the time. So the Gulf Council staff had some of those shark people from this other branch of NOAA come in to a council meeting, and they literally sat there and giggled to themselves when I think it was about 60 fishermen came up to the podium, one after another, complaining about sharks and telling them about all the shark problems we're having. And these two shark people, like, literally giggled to themselves the whole time about how great of a job they're doing and how healthy the population must be because all these fishermen are complaining about how many sharks.
So if there's
they had to be ushered out of the room.
If there's no transparency, what are the chances that it's corrupt? Seriously.
The music stopped perfectly.
The politicians are getting paid everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's behind closed doors.
There you go. So there's money involved. The bunny huggers are sending money that way.
Look at Discovery Channel Shark Week, man. How much money does that bring in advertising? Got to go hug a shark, baby.
This is 1-800-969-9352. I still think this is all Scott Moore's fault. Scott started this whole thing. The guy's a legend. He's a pot stirrer, that guy. Again, 1-800-969-9352. Let's talk fishing. Light him up. We'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, that and the turtles, like, we have to have a freaking dog toy on our offshore fishing boats for turtle release gear. They have these silly, stupid turtle rules that we have to have all this gear on the boat because they expect us to lift this 400-pound leatherback turtle onto the boat if we hook one. It's like, you're out of your fucking mind. No, I'm not going to bring a turtle on the boat that could take someone's leg off with a single bite. Like, some of these turtles we get offshore are big and they're powerful. I mean, they'll put a hole in a fiberglass boat.
I hooked one of boat Grand Pass.
Yeah. I mean, Why in the hell would you bring that on the boat with customers? Why would you bring it on the boat in general?
Right.
It's so dumb. Some of these rules that we have to follow. And you know, the first offense we've already been hit with, it's a $1,500 fine. Second offense, if you don't have this 9-inch pair of pliers and this dog toy and this cushion to set the turtle on and this crazy big net that you have to carry, if you don't have that, second offense is $30K.
That's all tree hugger bullshit right there.
Yeah.
buddy.
And it was done in the dark of night outside of the Gulf Council process and forced on federal waters,
somebody wrote a check.
federal for-hire fishermen.
Yeah, somebody wrote a check. Guaranteed. Anybody that
That's
sits,
ESA, that's Endangered Species Act stuff. So if it's marine mammals, ESA, sharks, it's all outside of the Gulf Council process.
anybody that sits on any of those panels should be open. They should have to open their books.
You do in the Gulf Council. You have to submit as part of your application process. It's all financial disclosure, and it's actually on the internet. So if you go onto the GulfCouncil.com, you can look at each council member and where they make their money.
Yeah, but do you actually get to see their bank account? Because they're not going to disclose it. Hey, frickin' Burt Reynolds wrote me a check for frickin' $50,000 to vote this way. They're not going to disclose that shit.
Yeah,
So it's not completely transparent either
but you
way.
can see where they make their money from.
Nancy Pelosi's not like, hey, guess what?
Well, I'm not. That's a whole different conversation.
The
But I'm
same
saying the Gulf
conversation. It's all
Council-
the same shit.
Yeah.
It's all the same bullshit.
Yeah.
It
I hear
all runs together, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It all runs together. The local shit that's going on, your local government's the same shit. It's the same shit. We just don't talk about it. We talk about the national scene. We don't talk about the local guy that scumbags his way in.
Well, the local levels and the lower levels are even easier to have more corruption.
No, there's no doubt.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And with
The
all
the state representatives. So if you're in a state house position, like the compensation is like 15 to 30K a year, but some of these people are pulling in like a couple $100K a year, and I was told that a lot of people get into those positions and stay there because you can call a lobbyist and get $50,000 tomorrow.
100%, no doubt.
crazy.
Well, and then again, term limits would help.
Oh, speaking of lobbyists, when we had that sand problem, they were like, "Oh yeah, hire a lobbyist firm and you'll have that done in no time." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I started looking into it. A lobbyist just to go to Tallahassee and talk to people on our behalf on that whole sand issue was $75,000. Just to have someone go there and talk to people,
So corrupt.
because all that money does is get them in the door. And the only way we got that sand problem fixed is our new landlord, Ben Mala, started stroking checks to politicians. He's spent a lot of money. And as soon as he spent that money, the problem was we started getting meetings and the problem was
Weird.
fixed.
Weird how that happens.
It took 30 years. No one was writing checks. But as soon as Ben Mala came in and started writing checks.
So a very, very well-known fishing figure in the Tampa Bay area sat in my studio and told me that the Boca Grande jig fishermen were fucked. You know why? Because now they got a guy on the island with a shit ton of money and he's involved. You guys are done. He wrote checks to the FWC commissioner that was leaving.
Yeah.
That's how that whole thing spun around.
Yeah. That is very corrupt.
It's corrupt. Welcome back, 655 here, the iHeart Media Empire.
So on that point, I'll let you finish. No, that's an interesting one. Because, like, people complain about the Gulf Council and how those people would flow the money, but the Gulf Council process, I've applied for the Gulf Council process. You have to fill out a financial disclosure document. You have to get through the state appointment process. Then you have to get through the federal appointment process. Like, it's challenging. It's open. Everything you put on that document is public record. It's all on file. The FWC Commission, there's nothing. There's no application that you fill out. There's no disclosures. You have to make a political contribution, and you're put on that FWC Commission.
Yeah, not dirty at all.
It's wild. It is the FWC Commission process. Like, there's good people there. They do a great job. It's a volunteer thing, so I'm not throwing shade on any individual. I'm throwing shade on the process. The fact that there's no open application, there's no disclosures, that you're appointed there after a political contribution, a lot of red flags there.
Yeah.
A lot of red flags there.
Yes,
So
sir.
the state level is very different, and that's what drives me crazy is you don't see that shade being thrown at the state level. You only see it at the federal level, and at the federal level, it's very open and transparent how you get on the Gulf Council, and it is not easy, and everything's public.
Well, I mean, we know how much the politicians that go into office worth this much, the job pays this much, and they come out of office worth this much. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out they didn't make that money doing the job. I mean, and we as Americans just keep re-voting them back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we can make our own term limits. Just don't re-vote the jackwagon in.
Mm-hmm.
That you can create your own. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about the party line. Just vote the losers out that've been sitting on their duff up there doing nothing for 30 years.
I think it's at the federal Senate, Congress. I think it was Congress. I want to say it was Congress. If you get reelected 3 times, all those benefits, like you get like $300K a year plus crazy benefits plus all this other stuff. You have Secret Service watching your back. If you get reelected 3 times, you have that in perpetuity until you die.
That's great.
So
That's awesome.
if you get reelected 3 times, you're making $300+ a year of taxpayer dollars for the remainder of your natural life.
Nice.
So the incentive is to sit there, do nothing, not be contentious, go right down the middle, and spend all your time lobbying for reappointment, reelection.
Right.
Because if you get reelected 3 times, you made it.
But never do your job.
Yeah, you made it in
That's
life.
beautiful.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And some of this stuff I found out along this process is some of it's like, oh, that's really cool. That's great. And then others, it's like, oh, that makes my stomach turn.
Dude,
That's not good.
it's such a cesspool of nonsense.
It really is.
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, so AC heating and cooling.
Yes, there's that. And it's that time of year because it's hot out there.
Yeah, take care of your AC. Do your maintenance.
Yeah, do your maintenance and check out our good friends at Ace Heating and Cooling. Chris Myers, Hillsborough County. If you have an issue, if you need a new unit or you just need service, you do residential, commercial, repairs, maintenance, full replacements. Again, whatever you need, nobody does it better. You can give them a call today at 813-657-8818 or look them up online at brandonac.net. Even our callers are like, maybe we're just not going to talk to those people guys. They're off on a tangent.
It's crazy. And then we have conservation groups that just ignore these things and they stay in their little focused lanes. It's crazy.
It is. It's some nonsense. There's no doubt about it.
Nuts.
We'll get a safe boating tip here probably on the other side. Our good friend Captain Jim Fogel from the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352. Questions, comments, fishing reports. Bring them right here. We'll be back.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
I can't wait till we get to November.
Yeah, when this whole Amendment 2 thing is done, that'll be interesting too. Because once, hopefully, it gets passed and we get the right to hunt and fish, Travis has talked about how we need to do like a story on how much money it takes to get laws passed. And that would be very interesting.
That would be interesting.
Be a good podcast. Nuts.
Body cam video shows Officer Luis Garcia arriving and finding 29-year-old Frank Rodriguez with a woman who told Garcia he was helping her find her keys. You're not free to go. You're not free to go. Hey, bro, stop. Video shows Rodriguez getting tased, running into the street, and falling just before being struck by a car. That car did not stop, and police are now
That is a
searching for the
horrible
driver.
way to go.
Terrible.
Boom. That's horrible. That's just horrible.
Not great.
No, it looks cloudy out. Is it cloudy out? I don't see any clouds on my radar.
Forty-six-year-old Jessica Sakuma was taken into custody. Charges have not been filed. The name of the victim has not been released. He was
78% chance of rain in St. Pete. Probably for this afternoon, I imagine.
morning after both parents drowned while on vacation in Hutchinson Island on Friday after being caught in rip currents. Martin County
Did you hear about that? family, husband, wife, and 6 kids were on vacation. So husband and wife and their 6 kids. Husband and wife get in the water at the beach, both drown in a rip current.
Wow.
Yeah, not cool.
Around the moons, man. You gotta be careful.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts.
Terrible.
The tides are brutal, man.
Crash in town in Country Hillsborough Avenue. This is westbound after Longboat Boulevard, right around Elliott Drive. The rest of Hillsborough westbound looking good right now. 580 over to Pinellas, also in good shape. No issues on the west 19 proceed east to Clearwater into Pasco County. 60 out to Clearwater Beach in good shape. Seeing no delays around the St. Pete Clearwater International Airport or Feather Sound Bay Area big bridges. Are checking
The great Captain Jim Fogo.
WFLA.
We have a hot and humid weekend ahead. Temperatures in the mid-90s this afternoon. Feels like temperatures between 100 and
You gotta come out of ICAST with a new
out there.
partner on our safe boating tip.
Thunderstorms. Few spotty storms will pop up along the coast a little earlier.
Is that the same as what it would be for commercial?
Slow-moving heavy downpours
Yeah.
will
All right.
I mean,
evening, and they'll drift back toward the coast.
Or,
Very similar
you know,
setup on our Sunday. Lower rain chances.
we could trade it out again or whatever. It don't matter.
Mhm.
Find something there that makes sense. You know, where we can both benefit.
On News Radio WFLA.
Gun store. We need a gun store.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump set to address Christian conservatives in the nation's capital today. North Carolina congressional.
What happened to that shoot straight guy? They just backed
They
off.
sold. They sold their part
it's
of
corporate
it,
now.
and they went. Well, it was corporate. It was always owned by Scott and Laura and Khalid, who owns all of them. But they wanted out of retail because there's no time off, as you know.
Yeah.
So they sold. Laura went to work for HR for the company, and then Scott went to work selling just military and police stuff that he could do from home.
Yeah.
And he still does that as far as I know. And then Laura left there and took a job with Pinellas County Sheriff's Department doing HR. So, yeah, they've done very well. They live right here, close by. Now, in a condo. They're good people, Scott and Laura Patrick.
Yeah. They were nice.
Really good people. That was one of the best deals ever. Just getting gift certificates to Shoot Straight every month. Yay! It's like Christmas.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
Some good old gift certificates to get guns. You get behind that.
Big time.
Oh man. I could get behind that.
Mm-hmm. Why would you go after Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer and not Nancy Pelosi?
She wasn't home.
I was looking for her. Just curious.
It's a valid question.
Yeah. Hope that guy didn't get his check and he get the job done.
What do you got going on today?
The family wants to go out in the boat.
Nice.
You know,
Going to Shelkey?
probably. Yeah.
See you there. Yeah, we'll be in Irma Pass with in-laws.
You going to Irma or Bunces?
Probably Irma.
Irma.
Yeah.
You go inside then?
With the kids, yeah. Yeah. Just inside.
You'll have plenty of water today.
It's supposed to be high tide.
That pass is getting funky, man. It always is changing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't run in there very often anymore. It's always changing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Last time I went there, it was a certain way. I was like, I think you got to go more this way.
Changes.
Yeah. But my father-in-law loves it back there, and he doesn't care.
It's all good.
I'm just in the passenger seat.
Welcome back. 7:06 here. I want to put a shout out to our men and women service members, both here and abroad, who give us great opportunities like freedom, the most important opportunity. Make sure you give some love to a service member if you see him walking the streets, or a veteran, because our freedoms are all because of what they've done, the sacrifices that they give us each and every day, and we certainly appreciate them for sure. Now we're loaded up here. Let's
woke up.
Yeah, let's ramble through here. We got Hall of Famers everywhere. Richard on the South Shore, Hall of Famer. Lisa Fitzgerald, Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Jim Fogel with our safe boating tip. Let's do that here real quick. He's a Hall of Famer. Jimmy, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Real fine. Listen, we talk about lookouts a lot and how important it is and how it is required to have a lookout or lookouts on your boat. That also includes radar if you have radar. If you have radar on your boat, it must be operating. It must be turning. Okay? That's part of the lookout system. That does not relieve you of human lookouts, but you need to have the radar on. Now, we've had several accidents offshore, like in 35 miles out, where two boats run into each other. Now,
Really? Yeah.
It's not like Interstate 95 or something. Yeah.
Some areas it gets close.
Inside it does, but outside, no, it doesn't. So therefore, I just want to remind you guys that even if you're fishing, you're sitting there with an anchor down, or you've got your power pole anchor down, you've got to pay attention. And you guys that are setting your autopilot on, you've got to pay attention too. I mean, just because you're out there 35 miles out doesn't mean you're the only person out there. So please, let's use a little common sense here. Don't get carried away as much with things in the water as they are out on the water.
That's a big request. Common sense.
And also, it comes down to not trusting the other people around you, right? I think a lot of those collisions offshore is like, oh, there's a boat coming. Oh, that boat looks like it's going to get close to us. Oh, it looks like he's going to hit us. He'll turn. Oh, yeah, they must see us. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's too close and you can't get out of the way. It's like, you see a boat coming and it looks like it's going to hit you. It probably will.
Right. Pay attention. Yeah, pay attention. Be ready to roll. Be ready to get out of there. It's the last minute. It's not worth your life, that's for sure.
No, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Good stuff, Jim Fogel.
All right, guys.
Always.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. For the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete, Jim Fogel. Be safe out there.
Appreciate
See
you,
buddy.
Jimmy. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Brought to you by our good friends at Milwaukee Tool. That's a crazy one there. Let's check in real quick with Richard on the South Shore. Then we'll get to Captain Lisa Fitzgerald. Richard, how are you this morning?
Doing all right. Retrieving a lure right now.
It happens.
Yeah. Well, I got it.
Attaboy.
Just a little miscast. You know how some days everything you throw is perfect, and then other days you can't stay out of the trees to save your life?
100%. 100%. Mine's usually when the cameras are on the boat. That's when I throw it up in the trees first. No doubt.
I got where my anchoring pole is used more for getting plugs out of trees than it is anything else.
That's a good plug for the anchor poles anyway.
Yeah. You know, you guys are talking about sharks, and, most of the sharks, and I've seen quite a few here in the last 2 years, more than I've normally seen on the flats, and I've actually caught two blacktip on top of
Sounds like you agree with us.
No, I don't, because blacktip are not protected. You can catch and keep, kill,
So I would love for you tomorrow, post on social media a blacktip covered in blood and see how far that gets you. because you will be
I'm
eaten
not
alive
sure that-
on social media. All these people, I can't believe you killed that shark. I can't believe you would have done that. If you bring a bloody shark to the dock in a heavy populated area or on the beach, totally legal to do, you'll get death threats. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I hear what you're saying, that they are legal to be harvested, but you literally to the point where you almost can't.
I've never had it, but I hear it's good. Do you eat it, Richard?
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay.
A small one. But my point is this is not a protected fish. It's black tip, yet
it is protected
it is the
by
most
public
numerous
sentiment.
Fish. No, I'm not worried about public sentiment.
Me neither.
This big fauna argument you make, to me, is that's you're just using that as an argument to go against something that you don't like because it's competition. That's what's going on here. The birds are competition. The sharks are competition. The manatees prohibit you from doing whatever you want in shallow water areas. There's competition in your mind. So you're kind of demonizing these things for your benefit, in my opinion.
Well, okay. But here's where you're treading on some tough water here, boss. You don't think that the people that don't want you to be out there fishing right now are using that creature to make that not possible, Richard? You think we're demonizing it, but they're not?
And the whole point of the charismatic megafauna is they use this soft, cuddly creature like a manatee that looks good on a T-shirt, and Save the Manatees sells a lot of stuff, and that's how they gain fundraising dollars. That's the whole point of the charismatic.
I don't have anything against pelicans. I don't have anything
against.
And
it's not competition. It's the fact that they do a lot of this based on opinions and feel good, not based in science. That's my challenge to this whole charismatic megafauna thing, is it gets everybody's feelings up in a row, and they close areas because they feel that they have to protect the manatees in these zones, but it's not backed by science. If they show real science that these areas are helping, then all of a sudden you have a good reason that we can get behind and not be contentious.
It's the same thing with fish closures, Richard. I don't want anything closed. But if we have the science that shows you that we have a species that's in trouble,
we have to have science-based fisheries management.
It needs to be science-based. My big complaint is that we're not spending enough money on the science.
Or enforcement.
My big complaint is people pick and choose which science they choose to, pay attention to. You guys are talking about big shark and big manatee. There are no such organizations. There are people who are looking out for what's going on in the water. But these things do directly affect your livelihood. Therefore, I think that you pick and choose.
They don't.
The science.
They're not affecting my livelihood at all because I'm not killing fish, so I don't care.
I run shark fishing trips. People love booking one. We ran one last night.
We get phone calls all the time. I send them to my guys. You guys want to go catch a shark? Go catch a shark. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
We get people all the time that want that stuff. So
I run manatee sighting tours. I make money off manatees and sharks.
And I'm close to the end, bro. I'm close to the end. I'm in I don't care mode. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. But 15, 20 years from now, Richard, when you can't get on your kayak and go do what you enjoy doing, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Then you're going to be pissy.
I'm in the same boat that you are. I think that there's a lot of people don't care, just looking out for their own interests, and I really hate wasting time and arguing about it anymore.
Well, that's a good point. That's a fair point there, too, for sure.
Our big problems here in Tampa Bay are too many people and the water quality.
100%.
That's our big problem.
100%. I couldn't agree more, for sure.
But you can't get the politicians to do anything about it because they're being paid off and they're staying in office because people are voting on their particular issue, whether it be everybody should have a bazooka or,
let's not get carried away here because we need bazookas.
That is how they're staying in office. That's exactly how they're staying in office.
No, there's no doubt.
They get the money and they stay in there on wedge issues, and
100% true.
It's amazing the stupidity of the general public.
I couldn't agree more. I got I got Lisa Fitzgerald to get to. I could talk to you for hours, my friend. I love your passion for all this stuff, Richard. So keep them lures out the trees, brother. Yeah.
Okay. Captain Mike down there, and is that Big Pine Key? What's the name of his fishing outfit?
Oh, that's a good question. If you just Google Captain Mike Perry, Perry, it'll come up.
Okay. That's what I couldn't remember the last name.
Yeah,
I got to talk to him.
All right. Get him. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
See you, buddy.
Always
Good luck.
Always a good call there. Let's check in quick with our Hall of Famer, talk some CCA Florida Star Tournament. I know we've had some redfish caught here, Hall of Famer, that I don't know if they came with keys to a boat or not.
They did not come with keys to a boat. They came with a T-shirt.
Oh.
Yeah.
A T-shirt that says you should have been a member?
You've got tagrets.
You got tagrets?
Yeah. Yep, tagrets. We have had 11 star tagrets recaptured.
Wow.
11. And none of them have been registered for the competition. So I really implore everyone, get yourself registered, but just don't forget that it's every fish you catch can be entered in the CCA Florida Star competition. We've got more than 2 months left of fishing. It ends September, on Labor Day, Monday after Labor Day. You've got to get yourself registered. Right now it's only $80. $80 to fish in a competition where you have a shot at $500,000 in prizes. That's a lot. That's a lot of jack to win, and
the kids scholarships too. If you've got kids, you're going to be fishing all summer. To miss out on $100,000 in scholarship money from CCA is crazy. It's crazy. Beth and I have been to the banquet. We've seen the smiles on the parents' faces. We've seen the smiles on the kids' faces. I mean, it's unbelievable. Do not miss this opportunity. It's crazy.
There's a trash division.
This year it'll be $1 million in college scholarships that we are going to have awarded, and another $100,000. Huge shout out to Real Tree Fishing. Every year they provide us with $25,000 to award to kids just for catching fish. So it's easy. It's something that keeps your kids occupied over the summer. And as Dylan was saying, that trash division is really a cool opportunity for kids also to learn about conservation and what's important.
No doubt. Tell everybody real quick how they can sign up, my friend.
Yes, if they'll get on the internet, CCAFLSTAR.com, or they can give us a call, 844-387-7827. We'll take your credit card right over the phone, get you registered, and you're set. If you're fishing this morning, just call that number. Get yourself registered because you just don't know what you're going to catch and what you can enter in the competition.
You're the best, my friend. I know we're going to get to see you soon here at ICAST. Looking forward to it as always. Keep up the great work, my friend. Nobody does more for conservation in Florida than you, and that's why you are our favorite Hall of Famer.
Well, thank you, and we'll catch up with you guys soon. Have a great day.
Sounds good. Appreciate you. She is absolutely a class act. And listen,
the only Hall of Famer.
It's just a no-brainer, people. CCA Florida Star Tournament is a no-brainer. If you're listening to our show and you love to fish and you are going fishing and you are not in the Star Tournament, it makes 0 sense. Zero. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. 11 people could have won a boat.
11. That seems serious.
I'm like, I can't even imagine catching one of those fish and being like, wow, that's a complete moron. 1-800-969-9352. Phone lines are open. We'll be back. 970. Oh my God.
That's got to be like some kind of record.
It sure sounds like it. We'll have our happy hours there at ICAST. We can go hang out with CCA.
Richard from the South Shore. Killing me.
So funny. You should just just pushing your agenda.
Thinking about why I was on the call, I make money off sharks and manatees.
Yeah.
It's just what's right, man. That's what it comes down to.
That's where
it's
I'm
not
at.
where what benefits our agenda.
Like,
It's
I
what's
don't hate
right.
manatees. Manatees aren't the problem.
Yeah.
They're not the problem.
It's the fact that we are managing them incorrectly.
100%.
It's not science anymore. It's
I've
feeling.
said it for a year on the air. Dude, I catch a handful of snook. The kids get a couple of trout, a couple of jacks, and Mama sees a manatee. I'm a hero, bro.
Yeah.
Ding, ding. Cat Mike's the best. This was the best part of our trip.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't want anything to happen to them. I don't want to run them over. I don't want to. There's no reason to kill them. They're not hurting anything.
Yeah.
They're eating too much seagrass, but that's because we got too many, because we're mismanaging them. It's crazy, dude. And again, I'm not killing fish, so I ain't trying to, whatever, dude. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. 20 years from now, you ain't going to be able to fish back there where you're fishing, Richard.
Yeah. Close Tampa Bay, it's an estuary.
Right, and by then, maybe you won't be here anymore. Maybe I won't be here anymore. And it won't matter to us, but maybe you got grandkids. It'll matter to them. Or kids. It'll matter to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. It's always this tape. Oh my God. I worked legs last night. Holy shit. Sitting here is not good.
2 days a week has not been fun. I did 225 for 8.5 though. That felt good. I'm getting more confident with it. Working my way up.
Bobby Woody.
I'm gonna try 315 next week.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Squatting?
Mm-hmm.
Be careful, man.
Yeah, I'm going slow.
It's a back issue. Just be careful. There's ways to get that same.
Right now, it's my freaking forearm right here. It's my ulnar nerve. It's the funny bone nerve. It's this forearm is so bad. Like everything you do is grip strength related, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're working arms, back, chest, it doesn't matter. You need grip strength. So when I start to grip and supinate, as soon as I start to supinate, it just lights up. It feels like someone's stabbing me in the arm. It's crazy. And I've been stretching, I've been doing this, doing that, and I just cannot get that thing to relax. It's driving me crazy.
Huh.
Someone's like, "Oh, you need to take a week off."
Yeah, sometimes.
It's been bothering me since early May.
Sometimes that's the smart move.
Yeah.
One of the greatest bodybuilders to live in this area, Ian Harrison, told me a long time ago, listen to your body. If it hurts, quit doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a rest.
Mm.
And he was on the Olympia stage 6 years in a row. I was like, God, that hurts. He goes, then quit doing it. I'm like, but he goes, I know. Quit doing it. It hurts for a reason. I'm like, all right, smarty pants.
Yeah.
Mr. I know everything. I tell Beth all the time. She's like, well, that hurts. I'm like, quit doing it. It hurts. Don't do it. You don't have to quit doing it forever. Let it heal. Strain the muscle, strain the joint, strain the ligament.
But that's the problem is now it's to the point where like it hurts to do anything.
That's what I'm saying, because you've been pushing through it. Give it a rest. It's really good advice, actually.
Sounds kind of silly.
Give it a break. Do some cardio for a week. You'll be all right. You'll be surprised at what it'll do for your growth.
Yeah.
Take a break and come back even more.
You sound silly when you say things like that.
I know. 7:25 here. Welcome back, everybody. Bartow Ford, Real Animal Fishing Show. Captain Mike Anderson, Captain Dylan Hubbard in studio here talking fishing. Put a shout out to our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Again, this is not the time of the year to be playing games. If you have a problem with your roof, whether it's a new roof, shingle, metal tile, or flat, repair, whatever you got, Affordable Roofing Systems. They can get to you, get you in, and get you taken care of before you get beat up by these storms. Call 1-888-397-ROOF. Get your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Let's go to the phones here real quick. Got a short segment for the bottom of the hour. Let's check in with our good friend, Captain Bobby Woodard. Bobby, how are you, brother?
I'm wonderful, guys. How are y'all?
We're good, man. I don't know if we're wonderful, but
yeah, wonderful.
We're glad you're
strong.
we're glad you're wonderful. That's great. Awesome.
Hey, that's a good little intro, though. Good timing on my part. Dave Torres and his guys over there are wonderful.
Yeah, that is good timing on your part. They did Dylan's roof. They did your roof. Dave Torres has had his kids on my boat, and they're just a great family. David Torres is just great people. So it's an easy plug for us just because I know David, and we've had so much feedback on the people that have used affordable roofing systems, and it's all been positive. So it's really good stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, admittedly, I'm tuning in late this morning. I was up late in the boat shop last night doing some boat work. But there's two things I wanted to call in for for the listeners. The Bartow Ford event coming up with Eric Bachnick.
Yes, sir.
Like that's going to be incredible. I've actually had the pleasure of hearing him talk before, and from an artificial standpoint, or just fishing in general, anybody that's ever even planned on throwing an artificial bait needs to get out there and listen to him talk.
I totally agree. I learned something every time I've had him. I bet he spoke 5 or 6 times over the years with me, and I just get out of the way and just sit back, and every single time I learn something new. It's crazy. Awesome.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to get out there. It'll be a good time, and bring a notepad and pen because you're going to need it.
Yeah, right. No doubt. No doubt.
And then Amendment 2, man, we've got to keep pushing it. So get out and vote. Yes on 2.
Yeah,
so that's the right to hunt and fish, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's amazing that we have to fight for that.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of PETA dollars that are being spent to oppose the right to hunt and fish.
Go figure.
Oh, you don't need the right to hunt and fish. Why would you need that? Why would you need to memorialize your right to hunt and fish in the Constitution? And then other conservation groups are like, oh, no, we're super focused on what we do. We're not really involved in that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like fishing conservation groups are literally turning their nose up to the right to hunt and fish. It's mind-boggling to me.
Insanity.
We all got to work together on this one. Get that passed for sure.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Agreed. All right, Bobby.
That's all I got though. Fishing's been good. Get out and get out on the water. We got the full moon coming up, so I'm gonna try to get out tonight. Got a little bit of work to do today, and get out tonight, and make a night trip tonight. So we'll see how it goes.
Catch him
lines, buddy.
Give us a report tomorrow, brother.
Will do. Catch him up, guys.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
see you, man.
Good stuff, Captain Bobby Woodard. There we are on the full moon here. I think full moon was Thursday night, Friday night. Oh, tonight. Okay. Well, it should be a good tarpon bite tonight, then for sure. That outgoing tide should go off. It went off last night, so if you're headed out there, might be a good one. Might be a good chance to catch a silver king. Just keep an eye out for those sharks. You don't lose them to the sharks if you can help it. So
don't feed the sharks.
Don't feed the sharks. 1-800-969-9352. Talking fishing. We'll be back.
Yeah, Bobby rebuilt his transom, and that wasn't enough for him. So now he's cut the entire deck out of his boat, and he's rebuilding the entire deck.
Why?
Just
during tarpon season?
Because he has a barn and he can. He said, you got to see this photo.
What's he do for a living?
He's a tarpon guide. He's got another boat he's running. Look at this. I gotta zoom through all these memes. He's got his center console hanging over here. He's got his back platform hanging over here. He's got the whole deck cut out.
What a barn, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's got a serious barn. It's crazy.
God. Is that all wood?
Yeah.
What kind of boat is that?
It is a... Oh, he's going to be mad at me. I think it's... He's going to be mad at me. I forget. He's going to text us. Probably text you while you're holding the phone there.
That's a
It's a
serious,
really nice boat.
It's a serious barn.
Oh yeah, he's got a really nice barn. You see that bar across it? He's got, I think, 2 10,000-pound lifts. Yeah, serious.
God bless you, Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm a little jelly.
He has a whole outboard engine and parts in the bed of his truck. Oh, there. See, he did text you. 1991 Parker 25.
Oh, okay.
SE.
25 Parker.
It's seafoam green. No, he's gonna get pissed. It's not seafoam. I called it seafoam and he was very
irritated.
upset. It's some custom color.
Well, I'm sure we'll see old Bobby and Travis at ICAST.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're the Florida Guides Association booth is going to be right next to the All Florida booth, and All Florida is Travis's organization that he's a part of, along with Florida Guides Association.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be neighbors.
Oh, good.
At ICAST. We'll have a big Vote Yes on 2 banner between the 2 booths.
Oh, good.
And we'll have 14 high-end chairs to sit down in. So we'll have, the whole idea is both of our booths will be next to each other, but they'll look very similar, except for different branding. And we'll be able to kind of have everybody sitting in there and relaxing.
Oh, good.
So it'll be a nice spot to come relax for a minute.
I'm going to chill. Keeps you in control.
That'll be my goal, is just getting people to come over there and sit and hopefully maybe join the Florida Guides Association.
I should be current. Am I current?
I believe so, because we renewed you last time. Yeah, I believe you're current. Yeah, because we renewed you in October, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
I need a new hat for ICAST. Do you have them?
Yeah, I can make that work for you.
Walk around and poke people with my Florida Guides Association hat.
Gotcha. Travis said we're getting legislators to stop by as well, so Travis will make sure Mike's not there for that.
Come on! I don't ever get to meet any of the cool people.
Some FWC commissioners, some legislators, they'll all be stopping by. We're just up from the conservation corner, so we'll have a lot of those folks stopping by, I'm sure.
Perfect.
One of our FWC FWC commissioners are now from Tampa. It's been like a Southeast Florida thing. Like 3 of 5 commissioners were from Southeast Florida. One was from Tallahassee. One was from like Jacksonville area. But now Preston is from Tampa.
Preston.
I have to look up his name. Ferrier. I always forget his last name. Preston Ferrier. He's a nice guy. Super approachable. He's always been really easy to chat with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'd like to pull some new meat out of this year's show.
Yeah, we're getting high-end Yeti chairs.
Are you?
Yeah, so they'll be like super nice camping chairs.
I can't be seen sitting in them bitches.
You might fall asleep in them.
Yeah, I might.
I'm kind of nervous. We bought 2 nice chairs.
You're not going to piss Dixon off being an Engel guy in the Yeti chairs.
They don't sell chairs.
Well, that's true. Good point.
No, Dixon doesn't care. I bring this Yeti thing and sit next to him all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. He just, Engel has been very set on, hey, we do coolers. We do coolers. And Yeti went all big on these insulated cups. And if you get Dixon talking about it, there's a whole story behind that. But yeah, Yeti does chairs. They do freaking everything, you know. Engel stays in their lane. They do coolers. Now they do freezers too.
Oh, they've been doing freezers. ramping up for sure.
They don't make buckets.
Shit buckets is all them are. Insulate your poop bucket.
Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
You know, we were talking about affordable roofing systems, how important it is this time of year to have your roof in good shape. How about your AC? Have you checked it lately? If you're in Hillsborough County, Ace Heating and Cooling is the only name you need to know. Chris Myers and his guys do residential, commercial repairs and maintenance and full replacements. All technicians, no salespeople. They're not out there trying to sell you a new unit. They just want to build a relationship with you so you know who to call when the time comes. Nobody does it better, in my opinion. 813-657-8818. You can look them up online at brandonac.net. Chris Myers is one of us. He's a fishy cat.
Yeah, and if you check them out on social media, they actually post cool reminders and videos and stuff. They always help me remember to change my filters.
Yeah, right.
Pour bleach in my drain line.
Exactly, the important stuff. Just super good people. We need to get him back in here. He's a fishy cat. He's probably spent a lot of time on the water with American red snapper season being long. I mean, he's an offshore guy and an inshore guy. Lives on the Alphi River, so fishy cat.
You only got a few more days for red grouper too. They're coming to a close, and
how long are they going to be closed for?
They are closing for the year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so they'll be closed until January 1st.
Wow,
it's a quota closure. So red grouper doesn't have a season, but the quota is projected to be met. So they're going to close the fishery down, and then if there's quota left over, then potentially you could see a reopening for a short red grouper season in the fall, but I'm not holding my breath for that one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but we should find out this next week at the Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council. They put in the Federal Register that they're going to tell us the recreational gag season for 2024 coming up. It is going to open September 1st, and it's going to be maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, probably not 3 weeks, definitely not 4 weeks.
Really?
So season will open September 1st, and it'll be open 1, 2, maybe 2, possibly 3, no way 4 weeks long.
I was thinking about my offshore buddies, the friends of the Marina that make their money out there, and all the complaining that was going on for many years really kind of focused on American red snapper. The seasons were short. Now we have what seems like a big red snapper season compared to what we've had, certainly.
Longest on record.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yet now groupers kicking them in the butt. So
yeah, I mean, there's fluctuations. Everything's very cyclical in my mind, but also there's a bigger conversation going on about how the ecosystem works, right? Is if you manage a certain population, sharks or red snapper, and you manage that fish with blinders, and all of a sudden now you've increased the population of this one fish, does it depress other populations? For example, if red snapper take over an area, a lot of times some of the conversation is they might displace some of these other species, especially in a really aggressive school of red snapper. They're not going to let baits or food get down to the grouper at the bottom, right? So there's a lot of conversations going on about ecosystem-based fishery management, which is looking at the entire ecosystem. If we really regulate this species, what is it going to do to the rest of the food web?
Right.
And that is, I think, something that we need to work towards. But unfortunately, ecosystem-based fishery management is a very data-hungry model, and it requires a lot of input from science. And a lot of the budget restrictions don't allow for that. So we need a lot more focus and budget on fisheries science. And ultimately, it comes down to fisheries enforcement, too, because you can have all the money in the world, unlimited funds for the best science. And if you have the best science and you have unlimited funds for the best science, then you have really good and well-informed management because it's based on science. And so you can have all this great science and well-informed management, but without enforcement, it's all useless.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's where we're at today. It's just a huge, huge hole in funding for science, and then
almost no funding for enforcement.
Like, it's pathetic.
Yeah, it really is.
Pathetic. Yeah. There's 35 federal enforcement officers from North Carolina to Brownsville, Texas, and all the way into the Caribbean.
Well, and even your local stuff, even the FWC officers, we don't have nearly enough for what the amount of bodies we have using the resource.
It's ridiculous.
It's terrible. They're underpaid and underfunded, and it's just a mess. I don't get it. You know, and half the time you drive by a FWC truck, they're sitting watching traffic, you know, construction on the road, trying to help out the cops who are also underfunded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, it's crazy.
Or they're working the traffic stuff and doing things on the side to try to make money because they're underpaid.
Yeah, well, that too, no doubt. We've had them in here before. We've had them in as guests.
And the same thing on the science side. We get a really good science person in that's doing like the port observing or doing finfish studies, and they're really good scientists. They start off at the state after they get their master's or their PhD, and they work there for a few years, and they get that experience, and then they go private or they go somewhere else or they go work for another state, because FWC is so poorly underfunded for biologists, and they just don't pay the people enough. So they start at FWC because it's a really good training ground, and if you have that on your resume, it looks really good, but they immediately go to other states once they have experience, because other states pay much better.
Can't blame them for that. Can't blame them for that. Got to take care of your family. Let's check in with our good friend William Keene. William, how are you, buddy? Up in Crystal River.
Hey, Captain. Belated Father's Day to you guys.
Thank you.
Dylan, I saw you fishing with your sons on your live camera feed, and you're a good dad, sir.
Thank you.
I wanted to relate. I was talking about you trying to do some underwater camera feeds from live underwater. I went to YouTube, and you just plug in live underwater cameras, and you could pull up, there's like 6 of them where they got constant surveillance of underwater cameras in salt water where the fish swim by. You could take advantage of just sit there and watch it like a fish tank.
Like an aquarium, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We actually recently started. We have that garage camera, and we actually recently got its own internet feed, and we spent a lot of money on it. And the investment is paying off with Google Ads. So we found a way to kind of self-fund those cameras. So we're gonna move forward on an underwater camera. We just got to figure out the science behind it. We're working on it.
I was thinking you wouldn't have to have it permanently. You could have it on a pole and just stick it down there for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then pull it back up to clean it and change the view or whatever. But anyway, thanks for being there. Tight lines. As far as the sharks fishing, the sharks are going to always be there. If you're fishing with live bait and the sharks come by, switch to artificial and move to another spot. It's just we got to deal with it, and hopefully that there'll come some common sense as far as culling the population of sharks if they get overwhelming.
Agreed.
But tight lines in there, and I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
appreciate
brother.
you.
Good stuff, Willie. Always a good caller there. You know what's interesting to me too, and I was thinking about this when we were talking to Richard. You know, he mentioned black tips. I don't think black tips are our biggest issue.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because people do harvest some of them, I don't think that's our biggest issue.
Well, it's a smaller coastal shark. It's a smaller species of shark, right? Our issue are these big, highly migratory species, and the coastal migratory species like the greater hammerhead, the
sharks,
the ridgeback population, the ridgeback family, which is the sandbar sharks, are a huge problem offshores. Silkies, duskies. Bull sharks are an issue, but I mean they've always been an issue. There's these species that are protected are different from black tips for sure.
Yeah, and it seems like, well, at least on the tarpon side, and I guess that's where my brain is right now because it's tarpon season, is that, you know, that's been a bull shark thing, a hammerhead and a bull shark thing. You know, they seem to really focus on the tarpon for a meal ticket.
Yeah, and then offshore, our big problem is sandbars, which is a ridgeback.
All right. Interesting.
Big problems. And duskies, but we don't see them as much. Once you get deeper, you see more of those darker colored, rounded nose duskies, silkies. But it's definitely an issue.
And how are those for eating?
you can't kill them. Ridgebacks are all protected.
Oh, I see.
They've been protected, and they're on like 100-year rebuilding plan.
So when did that start, though? What do we know about them? Do they taste good to begin with?
I mean, all sharks, in my opinion, are. Mako sharks, one of the best eaten around. I've had Mako steaks. They are incredible, but you can't kill any Makos now. You used to be able to take short fin Makos, but they've closed that as well. So now no long fin, no short fin takes. But there's a lot of sharks that are really good eating. Me personally, I don't really go after the sharks very much. Like if I caught a blackfin, I wouldn't kill it. A, because of the public outreach and the negative feedback we get, but B, there's a lot of preparation that goes into sharks. They definitely require more than just filleting and cooking, right?
A little more effort,
yeah. You got to soak the meat. You got to prepare it. They urinate through their skin. So as soon as you harvest them, you have to gut them, degill them, and prepare the meat, get it cold, and then you got to soak it generally in milk. It breaks down those enzymes.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's a challenge to prepare shark.
If you're peeing all over yourself, I'm out. just take that as a no.
Very uric acid heavy. So
I'll have
you got to
the
get rid of
burger.
that. Yeah, right. But shark is very good to eat. Don't get me wrong. I mean, blacktip shark is incredibly good. Bull sharks, you can eat those too, and it's good meat. I've had bull shark before. It's there's a lot of good eating sharks out there. It just, you got to know how to prepare them, and you got to be willing to go through those steps.
Yeah.
And don't post it on social media.
Charismatic.
Megafauna. CMF.
There's the word. There is the word. So
word of the day.
Yeah. So we're here the end of June, going to start to roll towards July, which can get. I mean, when do we really consider it to be the doldrums of summer? You know, I mean, we headed there July, right? The end of July, probably.
I mean, we start to see that. This week we'll see that offshore, where you get those midday doldrums. Where it's beautiful. I think there's less than 1 mile an hour winds. I think Monday or Tuesday, and we're on a full moon. We'll be on the backside of a full moon. Just pulling up the weather here and looking, there's no breath of wind really this work week, and that makes it real tough during the day. Yeah. Lighter tackle, try to get out there early, start fishing early. If you are out there midday and the bite slows down, lighten up.
Good call. Good call. We'll be back on the other side, wrapping things up here. If you want to join us, you could take a call here on the other side, 1-800-969-9352. Otherwise, we'll just have to listen to it. We'll be back. I've been telling you guys for years now about how much I truly love my Gills apparel, both on and off the water. Well, now you can go to OutdoorNation.com and shop the full Gills gear line, along with several other great brands like Real Life, FinTech, and Mad Pelican. All these great brands at an easy one-stop shop for all your outdoor apparel needs. Again, go to OutdoorNation.com, use the code RLA20, and get 20% off site-wide. One-stop shopping for both him and her, and 20% off to boot. Great outdoor apparel at a great price. Look good and feel good. Go to OutdoorNation.com.
Sometimes the more things grow, the better they become. That's true of us. Wesley Chapel Lexus has grown into the largest Lexus store on Florida's West Coast. And we are the only family-owned and operated Lexus dealership. Come try us out and experience top-rated customer service. We are the only Lexus Elite Award-winning dealer every year since opening. Our customers tell the story while our family is here for you. WesleyChapelLexus.com.
When it's hot, the Tampa Bay, this is Frank the Bank Cotto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com. Thank you for voting Lincoln Lending Group as Tampa Bay Times Best of the Best Mortgage Company this year, the same year that we are celebrating 20 years in business. With that said, I'm proud to offer you a first-of-its-kind, zero money down FHA loan with credit as low as $600. You can even buy a duplex on this program. Yes, you can be an investor with no money down, only with Lincoln Lending Group. Apply today for free at 813mortgage.com or call 813mortgage where you drop the E, we drop your fee.
For the upcoming hurricane season, is your roof ready? Providential Roofing and Construction is your local full-service roofing company. Let us get you prepared. To get a free inspection of your roof, go to providentialroofing.com. As an added incentive, we'll give the first 30 homeowners who schedule an inspection $250 in free repairs. Go to providentialroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. That's providentialroofing.com. Great outcomes from bad storms.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. Everyone has heard me speak about going the wrong way. But let me be clear. The wrong way means the wrong way of doing business. This includes gimmicks, games, and unfulfilled promises. Tactics you will never ever find at Bartow Ford. For over 73 years, we've been doing business the right way. So on your next purchase, don't go the wrong way. Come to Bartow Ford and see why we're different, and we prove it.
For more information about contests on this station, go to WFLAnews.com/rules.
I'm Ben Nadafafri, host of the history show The Last Archive, and I want to tell you about a new series we're running in our feed. It's called The Deadline. 6 essays written and read by Jill Lepore, the New Yorker writer, American historian, and founding host of our show. These are incredible essays on everything from the history of cryogenics to the Silicon Valley gospel of disruption.
All right, here we go.
Last Archive on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The Last Archive.
This is the Bartow Ford Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Blackadder, and Dylan Hubbard.
Wrapping things up here this morning, remember to check out our good friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives. The world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra-hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, true grit, glass, reinforced handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced from 5 great models to choose from. Go to RelentlessKnivesUSA.com, find out for yourself why this is the knife that all the pros are talking about. I actually spent a little time this week on the water with Paul Payne from Power Pucks. He just ran a great Father's Day special. If you missed it, you got to check this thing out. The world's first power-supplied trolling motor quick release bracket. Eliminates all the rust and issues you have with the plug-ins on the front of the boats. You know, whether you're washing your boat or you're taking shots over the bow or salt water, whatever it is, you get corrosion in that plug-in area of your trolling motor system. This eliminates all of that. Go to PWRPUX.com, PowerPucks.com. It is a game changer. Absolutely love it. Got it on the skiff, my KO skiff, my 18 KO, and on the 26 Contender Bay. Wouldn't want to run without it. Paul Payne's a great guy, Florida-based company. He's from over there at Titusville. Just great stuff for sure. So all good. Remember, July 30th, it's a Tuesday. We're going to be at Bartow Ford for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. Eric Bachnick, the inventor of Mirror. Well, he's not the inventor. He's the owner of Mirror Lure. His grandfather invented it, actually. But it's great. Just a great seminar. If you love to throw artificials or want to learn more about throwing artificials, Eric Bachnick is going to be there with me Tuesday, July 30th. Silver Ring Cafe, Bull Bay Rods, Ingle Coolers, all the goodies like normal out at beautiful Bartow Ford there.
Don't want to miss
Bartow. No, that one's going to be a good one.
Yeah, he's a great seminar speaker.
Let's check in here real quick. We do have a call. It's Sherman in Sarasota. Sherman, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning, and I know you're wrapping up the show, so I'll make to the point. For all you charter fishing captains out there, you should be aware of something that Sarasota County is contemplating, and that's severely restricting access to charter fishermen to use our boat ramps and parks in the area. I'm part of a task force that's considering that issue, and it seems the real move afoot is for like a medallion or sticker regulation program. And it's sad that it could put a bunch of charter fishermen that have been fishing our waters for a few generations that may not be able to afford or get the proper approvals to conduct business. And it's just something that I thought people should be made aware of that's going on in Sarasota County.
Yeah, and really the sad part about that's going to be the amount of people that come to Sarasota for fishing and enjoying the beach. You guys are going to take a hit on tourism big time. And I hope those people that are pushing figure that out. That's going to be painful.
I think we're going to figure out a decent solution, but I think it's part of a wave that's going to start happening across all of Florida, and you should keep, pay attention to your local municipalities and what they may be planning to do, because you're absolutely right. We could all get to our Gulf beaches, but getting to our bays and all of that and near coastal fishing could be severely restricted with some draconian measures by Sarasota County. So I just wanted to make people aware of that, and they could check out the Sarasota County Task Force on charter and tour boat operations. And I own a couple bait shops in the area, so, I really want to help these guys as much as possible. So
there's a lot of great charter fishing down there, a lot of great charter captains in Sarasota area, so we appreciate that, and maybe it's something we can talk about here on the show in the future as we gives us a little more time to dive into that. I would enjoy that. Yeah,
I'll reach out to you and let's get some contact information, and let's do that because it's awareness that's really important on this issue.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Please, drop me a DM or something, and it's pretty easy to find me. Real Animals, just, look me up. Let's talk and try to make, get the word out there. I appreciate the call this morning for sure.
And I appreciate your show.
Thank you, sir.
Great day.
Hey, you do the same. Appreciate you. Love that.
Yeah, it's a big problem they're facing down there in Sarasota County. The Florida Guides Association has been kind of at first they were talking about totally cutting out access completely, and we sent.
I don't even know how you can do that. You're paying taxes. How can you just shut it down?
State regulation states you can't run a private business out of public property, right? So those county boat ramps that are county-owned land, people were operating charter businesses out of those public properties. So they have to, the city municipality, or in this case, the water, I think they call it the Marina district, they have to grapple with a way to make it, at least they're trying to put in some point of regulation. And it's a lot harder to try to formulate this and come forward with a set of rules. It was easier for them to just say, no, you're all kicked out. So at first, that's what they were going towards. And we stepped in and worked with the county administration, and they're actually moving forward with, like what he said, a medallion program.
Well, hopefully,
so at least there's a path forward to where they're not kicking them all out.
Hopefully you hear, Dylan, how many times he's talked about how many things that the Florida Guides Association has got involved in. The amount of Florida guides out there that are not members of the Florida Guides Association is horrible to me. You guys should be involved in this organization. It was an organization, in my opinion, that was lacking in good leadership for a long time. And I was a part of it, and then I got out of it because the leadership went south. The leadership now is in a very great place, and you should get involved and help us. I am a member now. You should help all of us. Scott Moore, a big member of the Florida Guides Association, a lot of people. So you should get involved for sure. I want to make sure we put a shout-out to John Momola for doing a great job and keeping us rolling here for sure. We're up against the clock, unfortunately.
Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. for that live show.
Yeah, tomorrow morning to 7 to 9 a.m., 95.3 WDA and AM 620 for the Team Company, the Real Animals Radio Show. Again, John Momola, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that's time in the morning, the live feed, all that stuff. Make sure you check out Dylan's show. It's a good one. We'll be calling it over there as well. So, time lines, everybody. Have a great weekend. Rock.
Thank you all for being a part of our Saturday morning Real Animals radio show. Hopefully we'll see you next week for another episode. And stay safe out there on the water. Stay hydrated. And watch out for those sharks.
Charismatic megaphone.